Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 722. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, everybody?
All right, so we got some Godzilla Shin Gojira news. So what do we have, Chris?
Well, again, take this with a grain of salt right now, but I've got this from a pretty good source that the Shin Gojira suit is no longer being used in the film. Apparently, we have a completely CGI Shin Gojira. The design is staying the same. However, there will be no suit used in the film. And the reasons that I'm hearing, again, take this with a grain of salt until it's completely confirmed. But the reasons that I'm hearing is because that the suit apparently did not work the way they wanted it, and some of the Toho executives did not appreciate, but that they didn't really like the way the suit looked in the film.
Right.
So apparently they are going to a completely CGI Godzilla. And there was actually a story a couple months ago. I didn't say anything about it because I didn't believe it, but now it might be true. It might not have been a couple months ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. But apparently the Shin Gojira that we've seen in the trailer was the CGI Godzilla.
Okay.
So I think if that is true, that looked really good, and I'm all for this. I don't hate Suitimation, but I gotta say I think Suitimation has had its time. It's done now. There are other ways of making these kaiju movies. We've seen that with Gamera. Gamera is doing it now. Ultraman is doing it now, and now
Right.
It looks like Godzilla is doing it now as well. So
I mean, wasn't that the
I'm on
big
board.
deal that they had to have a guy in the suit to make this movie that's supposed to be a hats off to the 1954 version, or?
Well, that was the way. A lot of Godzilla fans I know are going to be very disappointed with this because
I'm sure.
there is a large majority of people out there who do not consider the 2014 Godzilla a Godzilla movie just because there was no man in the suit, and that is that is a very ignorant way of thinking.
Yeah, I liked it, so I don't know what they're talking about, really.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm very, very happy that Toho, if this is true, I'm very happy that Toho has decided to do this because I think now we can get a different kind of look at Godzilla from a different point of view. You know, the suits were very limiting, you know what I'm saying? And it was one of the reasons why other audiences, you know, outside of Japan and these areas that love tokusatsu films, it's part of the reason why the Godzilla films are looked at and they're just like, this is really cheesy and we don't want to watch it.
Right.
Unless I mean, like us, we appreciate the tokusatsu stuff, but honestly, I think its time is done, and I think it's time to move on.
I see. All right. I mean, we're gonna see what happens. I mean, when does the movie come out?
The 29th.
Okay. So before you know, it'll be here, and it's still not finished, right?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't think it's finished yet. I think that I don't know. Maybe it is. Now that they've decided to go full CGI, maybe they'll have maybe it'll be done faster. I don't know. It might be done. Right. I haven't heard anything about it. The last we heard, it wasn't done yet.
Okay. So. Yeah, this is gonna be a short everything show because I'm gonna talk about my review of the Purge election year. So me and Sharon decided to go see this. We're big fans of the Purge movies. And again, when you go to see these movies, you know, you get distracted from everything that goes on in the real world. And it's like you kind of dumb down to like just watching this play out, you know? And I got to tell you, before I saw this movie, I started to notice some new things that I've never noticed before going to the movie theater. Okay? First of all, we live in a world, you know, Chris, where like people could get shot in the movie theater. I mean, people are nut jobs, like with the Batman movie, and then you're hearing all these different things. Especially Billy was saying the other day that people were arrested in his movie theater and somebody had a weapon or somebody had whatever. So this stuff does exist. And I'm going to tell anybody after my experience today. Now, we went to the theater, and all of a sudden, you know, you're going to see The Purge. It's a horror movie, okay? So you're going to be a little bit, well, if something were to happen in real life, it probably would happen in the Purge movie that you're going to see. You know, I mean, people that we went to, it looks like some weirdos kind of went to see the Purge movie with us. Unfortunately, we're in the theater. I noticed like these people just, I mean, they were loud, a little crazy. This guy kept asking us the time for some reason. The thing that struck me was that this guy came in the theater with this huge duffel bag, like this big. Okay, you could have fit like a small child in it, right? Or some type of gun or something, right? And I'm saying to myself, you know, if they're so, they check all these different things with, you know, you can't bring candy in or nothing. How could they just let somebody go in with a bag like that? You know? So I was kind of concerned because it's like, as it is, there was some nut jobs and this guy was standing by blocking the exits. And I'm looking at him like, dude, why are you blocking the exit? Like, could you sit the F down? You know? Like you're sitting, standing while the movie's about to start, you know? And then it's like, to me, I'm going to tell you this, and Sharon got a little freaked. There's going to come a time, I'm feeling it right now, because I really don't feel certain theaters really are good at security, okay? Just when you go to the movies, whatever you're going to go see, just be effing aware of all your surroundings, okay? Before the movie starts, what I do is, ever since we hear about all these shootings and everything, I look this way, I look that way, I look in the front, I look behind me, I look here, I look down. Where's the exit? Where's the fire extinguisher? Where's whatever, okay? And I'm constantly like, I'm watching the movie, but then I see things around. Like I'm observant, okay? Because something happens, boom, you know? I'm just saying I really hope it doesn't come to that one day, but I have a feeling it will. And then you're going to have a whole different policy when it comes to going to the movies, all right? Especially with these people. I mean, I don't really think it's a good idea to let people in with duffel bags. I mean, that's really no good, I think. You're asking for trouble. I mean, when you go to the movies, do you bring, like, suitcases and stuff? No, you don't. So what the hell are you bringing in duffel bags for? That's what I'm concerned about. So thank God everything is okay. But I just found it very odd that someone a duffel bag this big could just go in the theater. I mean, are you moving? Because if you're moving, then don't come to the movie. Seriously. And I don't understand why people bring babies into horror movies. I don't know why people bring other people that are going to be loud and obnoxious and disrespectful when trying to watch a movie. You're spending, as it is, tons of money to get in there. Okay? A soda alone is $6 or $7. Popcorn is ridiculous. A thing of pretzels is $7 each. I mean, sometimes when you go to the movies with the family, you're spending over $100. So you really want your experience to be peaceful, quiet, and just seeing the movie. You don't want to hear people screaming. You don't want to hear people like just, you know, talking throughout the movie. You silence your cell phones. And I'm seeing like maybe it's the theater by me. It's getting a little worse. But I just get worried that that's going to happen in a few times. So when you go to the movies, the only advice I could tell you is it's not as it used to be back in the day. You got to be aware of everybody around you. Now that I got my public service announcement done, I liked this movie, okay? I don't like that it's starting to get like a story. This is a character. It's too much talking. It's like, you didn't need to do an election thing. It's like, I mean, you go to see the first, remember, I don't know if you saw the first Purge movie. You see it or no?
Yeah, I didn't like the first Purge.
Okay. I liked the first Purge movie better because it was just right into it. Now you got the rich had formed this founding fathers to have the Purge so they can kill all the poor people. Okay? And then it's like, okay. Now you got like the senator was like attacked and her family died and she wants to end the Purge and have the government. So now that rule you told me about, which I forgot about that rule in this movie was lifted.
That's what I thought, yeah.
You could kill anybody now. Even the people that were the rich that were starting all this. So it was just really weird how, like, you would think if this would actually happen, Like they would use a church of Jesus Christ and then say, oh, yeah, we worship Jesus, but on this night we kill people like sacrifices in the church. I was like, wow. I got to tell you, some of the stuff that happened, it was just like crazy. But it was more talking than anything else, I thought. And I started getting annoyed because I'm like, this is a horror movie. You're not trying to be like, like a painting, like a, like a famous painting or a famous, like, yeah, I mean, now you're getting a script that's really like, this character's this, and it's kind of distracting away from the movie, I thought. I mean, the whole purpose is they have the purge, you're supposed to survive a night. It kind of, I liked it better than the second one, but it wasn't better than the first. And lo and behold, the budget was only $10 million, and it made back its money with a $4 million profit in one day. One day, it became profitable. So whatever it does past that one day, I'm sure it's going to get a sequel.
Yeah, this series is turning into the
Very
Paranormal
profitable.
Activity Saw of it. Saw ended, then Paranormal Activity took up the mantle. Now the Purge is going to take up the mantle, and watch, in a couple of years there'll be a new horror title that will take up the mantle, and people will love the first one. It'll have a big splash, and then every year or 2 years they'll make another one, and it will dilute. That's the problem with a lot of horror movies now, is that they keep making so many of them that they start to dilute it. Whereas in the past, it was like you got one every now and then. They were really good. They
Right.
stuck to their premise. It's like I understand what you're saying. The second Purge, I mean, honestly, the first Purge to me bored me so much. I was just like, oh, please.
Okay.
The second one I liked a little bit more, only because I liked the main character who was going after people killing his son.
By purging.
Killed his son. I liked that idea. He was going after against people who were purging. I liked that idea. This one, to me, I had no interest in. I saw it and I was like, oh, this is a gimmick for the election this year. That's basically what it felt like to me.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Purge, like the Purge Redemption or something like that.
See, what I want to see is, I mean, do you mind if I spoil anything for this movie?
Go ahead. No.
At the end, basically, they tried to kill the senator of the government. They turned on her own Met security detail. They saved her. They were going to try to do an assassination attempt against the main priest that was running for an election. And they said if he dies, he's going to be like a martyr. We'll never get rid of the purge. So basically, they didn't kill him. So basically, she's supposed to become the president of the United States at the end of the movie, and she passes she puts the thing through to end the purge. And then right before it ends, you hear that people are starting to riot, like in purging, when there's not even a purge, because they're aggravated. So that's interesting. But the thing is that what I would really suggest is, I would suggest that the fourth purge show the first year of the purge.
Yeah.
Where people don't know what to expect, and they just think very little of it, and then psychos really come out, and then people start getting a panic because they've never experienced this before. Okay, and other people take it 100%. Oh, I could kill people. Okay, so I would suggest, like, you do a movie called The Purge, First Time or something. And basically,
the Purge Beginnings or something.
The Purge.
First Night.
First Night,
Like
right?
Purge First Night.
Purge First Night, and then you could do offshoots. Like in this movie, we saw that the Catholic Church, for whatever reason, adopts the purge to kill people on that day, which is like absolutely ludicrous, by the way. But you could turn that into a whole movie, where you see all these crackpots twisting religion, and you can't just that one night you're a nut, and every other night you're not. No, you could play that out. So you could do a movie based on religion that they twist it and do a purge. You could do other things like with the purge. This movie, it got even more crazy because they had a thing called purging tourists, or whatever they called it, where all these Russians and all these like foreigners would come in to kill people on this one night, be allowed, and then hop on a plane and get out. Which is like, holy crap.
See, that's interesting because we've never actually seen what other countries have thought about it in these movies.
Well, that's what it is. They're like, America, this, and they were all dressed like American presidents and different things. So I was like, holy crap.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah.
That was an interesting idea. And then this guy was like a Nazi, white power, crazy stuff. So I'm like, oh my God, they can make movies about that. You know, just the tourists coming in. I mean, basically, they're letting terrorists in for that one day, too.
Sure, sure.
So I'm like, holy crap. So there were so many movies that can be spawned from this movie if they do it right. But don't get caught up with, oh, I'm a senator and we have to end the purge. It's destroying America. And all this, and this is like ridiculous stuff. It's just like, just get on with it. You know, that's like having like someone capturing Jason Voorhees and trying to talk to him and convince him not to kill people. No, it would never happen. So just stop it already. Like, people are going to purge no matter what in the movie. You can't stop the purge, unfortunately. I mean, she thinks she's going to stop it. They don't have to vote for it. So, I mean, honestly, I would do the first night, like you said, of the purge. And again, it's a $10 million budget. You could technically do, and this is what I suggest, so that the company don't waste time. You don't have to have the same cast either, right?
Yeah.
You could do 2 a year and just save some, you know? And just, you're not gonna really lose anything, because if one movie makes like 50 million and each budget's 10 million and you do 5, you made back the money already for all of them. So you got to think of a business sense. Pop them out like they used to pop out of Friday the 13th every year, and don't worry about it. But don't get too caught up with plot. I mean, this was just really ridiculous. They had a plot for the guy that had the deli, and they talk about his whole backstory and how he's been in this friggin' thing for 20 years. And this one that was stealing, he pushed her in the right direction, and she's like the friggin' action hero. And this guy was an immigrant, and he right off the boat, and this Mexican guy, and he basically gave him a job and gave him a purpose. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, we're not doing a massive movie. This is the Purge 3. So, like, you don't need to have all this stuff. It's like, get out of here with this, please. Everybody's got like a whole damn origin and like I'm like, oh my God. Like, there wasn't even need for that. Nobody gave a crap, because all it is more talking than anything else. But the funniest thing I liked about this was this friggin' young, I guess she was a minor or whatever she was. She tried to steal a candy bar. And the guy's like, no. And then he had to have backup, you know, because she was making accusations like, I'm going to say you did this to me. I'm going to say you did that to me. When the purge came, she came with these people with chainsaws, wanted to destroy the guy's shop because she couldn't steal a candy bar. And she's screaming at him, I want my effing candy bar. I was like hysterical. I was like, wow. This is like the most, because you know what it is? There are people that effing crazy out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I would have did if I had to make a joke, I would have had the guy go back downstairs, grab a friggin' Hershey bar or something, and throw it at her. Because, you know, if she's that crazy, maybe she'll leave him alone for a damn friggin' dollar chocolate bar. But no, it's like, you didn't even do that. I mean, what was it to do that? Just as a joke, you know? I mean, you're going to deal with her ripping apart with chainsaws and everything. I mean, that was the greatest part. And then he called help, and this lady just hit them with the car and killed them all. Like, she just ran them over. It's like all these idiots that are dancing around with the masks on, and they got this, and their bodies go flying. She shoots them in the head and everything. They're wearing like a pig outfit. They're wearing this outfit. I love this. It was a great movie. I mean, it's a cool horror movie. So, thumbs up. They did preview a horror movie that we've seen before. I think it was on a Facebook thing or something, where the lights would go out and you would see the person.
Lights out.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was like a short, right?
It started out as a short, and now they're making a movie.
And it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
So this is like, and I'm telling you right now, this movie is going to be like a trilogy. or more.
It could be. That could be
So,
the next one, honestly.
yeah. That, and then they got this other one where this kid dreams and his nightmares in his dreams become reality. That's a horror movie. Then they got the Ouija, which is the second one, which is actually a prequel.
Oh boy.
The girl looks freaky in that, like possessed. That, I mean, there was like 3 or 4 different horror movies previewed on here. So, it looks like there's got a lot of cool horror movies. And then there was this other one called The Woods, which was another one. So, it's pretty cool that they got these movies coming out. I really can't wait for Friday the 13th and the Halloween and the Chucky and all the original stuff, you know, personally. But the other stuff I'll watch too. So we're just gonna give a rundown. I mean, I don't think we really have complete box office numbers, but I want to see if maybe they updated the Purge a little bit. So maybe I could get some figures here. Okay, so the Purge election year made $31 million in 2 days, or 3 days. So, and it's still going. So, I mean, already it's a $21 million profit just about, and it's still going. So, I mean, you know that's going to get a sequel or 2 or 3. You know, I think Tarzan. Let me see what that did. Tarzan didn't really do that good at all.
It really didn't.
$180 million budget. It did $38 million, but in foreign markets it did $18 million, which was really bad. I mean, this is like what version of Tarzan now? I mean, every decade's had a version, you know.
Well, this is surprising because this is one of those live-action movies that Disney's doing, and it's like, uh-oh. You know what I'm saying?
But is this Disney? The Legend of Tarzan? I don't think it's Disney.
The character is. I'm not sure if this movie is, but
I mean, I don't think this is Disney. This is Warner Brothers.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, Tarzan was before Disney had Tarzan. It's been around for ages, so
yeah, but
everybody
still,
could use it though.
This is one of those characters though that they should start looking at and being like, maybe we shouldn't make all these live action movies.
Right, right.
They should definitely think about it.
And then they got this movie that really bombed. That was, I guess, Steven Spielberg's BFG, which I don't even know.
Big Friendly Giant.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell that was. Yeah, and obviously they never really marketed it. Good.
They didn't market it. Yeah, you're right. They didn't market it at all, really.
And I'm sorry, but I know they're trying to be hip, and they call it BFG. But when I see that, I just walk away. Like, you should have called it Big Friggin' Giant or something. You know, like, people don't know what that is. And
honestly, I saw so many jokes because the BFG is a weapon in Doom. And people are like, is it about Doom? And all that.
So it made $23 million, which is an embarrassment. And basically, it's going to go down in history as crap. And I hope this gives them a lesson that, you know, people. I mean, you're trying to be hip with an abbreviation, but nobody really gave a crap about that. To tell you the truth, nobody even knew what it was. Like, people just passed it up. I passed it up. I didn't even want to even look what it was because it looked boring.
Yeah.
You know? Finding Dory's got $538 million. But it's basically, I mean, I think these movies are going to die down now. You know, I mean, with the exception of Finding Dory, maybe you got a couple of weeks out of it. You know? And then next week there's just A Secret Life of Pets. And Mike and Dave Needs Wedding Dates. Nothing really crazy.
Secret Life of Pets is going to do well.
Yeah. And then Ghostbusters is the following week. And it really doesn't have any competition, I don't think. I mean, there's this movie called The Infiltrator, which I really don't think. Pretty much Ghostbusters is going to be number one. The 22nd is probably going to belong to Star Trek Beyond. Yeah. Between that and Ice Age. And Lights Out is when the horror movie comes out. That's when the horror movie, that movie comes out. Mm-hmm. We also got Absolutely Fabulous, the movie, which is from, I guess, you know, overseas. So that's coming here. And then the 29th is Jason Bourne, Nerve, and Bad Moms. And then we got August Suicide Squad. So, I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But basically, I'm just looking forward to Ghostbusters. You know, but it's basically when it's around this time, half the movies are done. You know,
yeah. I gotta tell you, I think the next movie I'm gonna go see is probably gonna be Jason Bourne.
You're not going to see Ghostbusters?
Probably not.
Okay. And besides Suicide Squad, Sausage Party I'll see, but that's not like a sense of urgency. And then we have, what else? What else do we have? Ben-Hur, I don't know how that's going to be. Meh. Look, I mean, that pretty much is it, I think, for the summer. Done already. Yeah, even September is just horror movies. Tons of horror movies. Yeah. Even October. October is... Ugh, wow. Pretty embarrassing, some of these movies.
I gotta tell you, there's not many movies this year like that are... Well, I mean, at the beginning of the year there were, but the rest of the year, the only things I can think of really that I want to see...
Doctor Strange, but...
Yeah, I mean, Jason Bourne, Suicide Squad, Doctor Strange, and Rogue One are the only things I'm really...
Yeah, I'm in November, and there's nothing really... Doctor Strange and Fantastic Beasts, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that too, yeah.
Rogue One, and then it's Assassin's Creed on December 20th. Wow, so I guess I'll be making more than one book this year. Because there's nothing else to do. Maybe it might happen, actually. I might do more than one book because there's no movies really to see. It is a good thing, actually. So then we'll have next year, we'll have some cool movies. So, all right. Looks like we'll have to find other things to talk about on the Everything Show. All right, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your 4th of July tomorrow, people. All right, have fun. Take care. Bye for now.